All right, I'm here. This is Walter Hampton. This is my mother, Alberta Hampton. We're here talking today. I want to talk about my father and the relationship you have with him. How old were you when you married my father? Walter Sr., I'm Walter Jr., Walter Sr., how old were you? Do you remember?
21.
You were 21 years of age when you married him. How long, do you know how many years approximately you guys were married?
Probably around about close to 25.
25 years. Did you love him?
I sure did.
So I know you guys got divorced because my father, or daddy, was cheating on you. Is that the reason why you separated from him?
Well, some of it, yes. But basically, I got tired of him accusing me of being the one that was doing the cheating.
But you weren't cheating; it was basically him.
Right.
So when you all divorced, when you look back on it, do you have any regrets about the separation and divorce after 25 years of marriage because he was cheating? Do you believe in monogamy?
Well, I do believe in my heart, and yes, that a person should be
Monogamous.
faithful to their mate. I definitely believe in that. And I do have some regrets. I feel like that I should have been a little bit more patient and waited to see what would happen. I didn't wait long enough.
Do you know how old you were when you divorced him?
I was probably 36.
You were 36.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, somewhere along up in there, perhaps.
Okay. But in retrospect, knowing what you know today, would you have divorced Daddy, or would you have hung in there and tried to make the relationship work?
I would have hung in there and tried to make the relationship work. I would have what I know today would have given me more insight to go about it in a different way instead of a divorce.
So I have a lot of friends on my Facebook page when it comes to relationships. If somebody's caught cheating, they immediately want to end the relationship with that person. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, I don't. Not now. No, I don't. If they're married, and if there's children involved, I say no. That divorce should not be the case.
Now, do you think they should be able to work out the issues?
They got to work them out. You got to know what you're doing as a mature adult. You just can't throw it in there quickly. You just can't let it go.
Gotcha. I know that a lot of people who are constantly going through these relationships, they can be tough. How would you describe your relationship with Daddy? Was it a tough relationship? Did you guys get along okay?
It was a tough relationship. We were different people, coming from different lifestyles, coming from different worlds, and it was not an easy one to come together in.
Mm-hmm.
Different backgrounds. It was just
How much older than you was he?
11 years.
11 years older than you. 11?
11 years.
Okay, so you're 21, so he was 31, 32 years of age when you
Yes.
got married. So when you got divorced, were you happy with the divorce?
At that particular time, I was, but as time went on, I saw that I felt like everybody was not really prospering from it. Because I saw people that were hanging in there and saw their mates change, so a change can come about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you can. I'm not an advocate for people to break and end a relationship because because of cheating. I personally have a tough time believing in monogamy. Am I wrong for not necessarily believing in monogamy? Do you think people really can be monogamous? Do you think Daddy could have? Do you think that he could have been in a relationship with you and not cheated?
I definitely do. There's a lot of people that are faithful to their mates. And they're not even Christians, but they're faithful to the person that they're married to, and that's
So
important.
you've met some men
Oh, yes.
who married, who've been very extremely faithful to their wives.
Yes.
Okay. Because I haven't really met too many guys who were 100% faithful to their prospective wives. So I have a tough time with monogamy. I understand it. I think it's a great concept. But I think if something happens, I don't want to know about it. Am I wrong? Because, see, if I'm in a relationship, like, for example, with Earl for 17 years, I never asked Earl if he was with somebody, if he cheated on me, or if I never really wanted to know. And some people say that maybe I was naive or wrong for that decision. But for me, that's how I slept at nighttime. I didn't want to know. If he was doing something with somebody else, I wasn't going to go around looking and investigating to see what was going on. I like going to bed at night, being able to sleep at nighttime, and I really didn't know if he was cheating or not. Do you think I did that the right way?
I believe you did it the right way because you had a peace of mind. And I've found that if you're not into something, then you're not going to be so quick to accuse someone else of doing it. And if you're not, it's just that if your lifestyle is different, you expect people to be living the way you live.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that they're doing these things, and then it's like a shock when you find out that they are doing these things.
I got you. So, but when you married Daddy, so if he was 31 years of age when you married him, that's a huge age difference. Did your mother, my grandmother, did she approve of that?
No, she thought that he was too old for me, but I would not have had it any other way than to marry an older man.
Mm-hmm.
Because it worked out perfect for the survival of my household and my children being taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
It worked out perfect.
Well, with that age difference, I don't remember Daddy being. I know you guys had a couple of fights, a couple of arguments as we were growing up, but I don't think it was a violent relationship in any way. Did you all ever have any violent fights or confrontations?
No, it was not violent. We did, everybody's going to disagree. What they always said, tongue and teeth fall out.
Any fights at all?
Well, we had a couple of good fights, and I won the battle.
So, do you think that people? Because I think that a lot of people in relationships are going to have physical confrontations, and I've had a lot of people on my Facebook page say that I'm for domestic violence, but I think people are going to have physical confrontations in relationships. I think it happens, regardless of whether you want it to happen or not. What do you think about that?
I believe in this day and age, this generation, you don't have as many as it was back when I was growing up because the law was different then. So you might have, I think they're more verbal now. You're not going to just jump up and strike a person because you'll end up in jail. But back in my generation, it was the way things were handled.
People would fight.
And so it didn't matter who initiated it. You could initiate it or he could initiate it.
But so, do you think people should end relationships because of fighting, physical fighting?
Oh, no.
Okay, Rihanna and Chris Brown were together. Rihanna and Chris Brown got into a very physical, brutal fight. Do you think that she should have left him at that point? That was the first fight that we know of that they ever had. I don't know if you ever saw the pictures how beat up she was. Do you think she should have stayed with Chris Brown and worked through those issues?
If he was abusive to her and they weren't married, I don't think she should have stayed with him. Walter never abused me before we married.
So before you guys were married, how long did you date prior to marrying?
Oh, we probably dated about 4 or 5 years.
So for 5 years, you guys were in the dating stage, and then you decided to get married. What was the marriage? What was the wedding like? Where was it?
It was just a house wedding. Some friends and family.
No, nothing elaborate?
No.
Do you ever miss him?
I do, because I feel like I feel like he probably would be alive if I had hung in there with him and helped supported him during the time that we were getting divorced because of his illness.
So you do miss him?
Well, I don't miss him. I don't per se miss him, but I just feel like I could have done more to help him.
A lot of people stay together 25, 30, 40 years Because of love, necessity.
I think it takes both.
When you divorced him, was it painful? Were you still in love with him?
No,
Okay, so you were ready for the marriage to end at that point.
I was.
And you were, with the marriage ending, you were.
But you have to remember, there's always the anxiety of, you might want it to end, but then then later on you probably regret it. So it's hard to answer that question. It really is, because you change, your thoughts about things begin to change, and you just mature more and more and more.
Okay, well, this is going to conclude the first part of our interview for today, and then we're going to do some more interviews later on. I have a lot of other questions I want to ask my mother. What do you think about it so far? Are you comfortable with it?
Well, I am.
Do you mind talking to thousands of strangers about your personal life?
I do.
So, I mean, do you have a problem with as long as we're being truthful and honest, tell me how you feel so far.
Well, if it helps somebody, I think it's great.
I think we're helping a lot of people.
That's what's important.
So, back to the black gay son thing for a minute. As your son, do you accept me for who I am?
I don't even think you have to ask me that question. I've never ever disowned you. I'm always glad to be with you. We go out and eat. We have fun together.
We spend a lot of time together.
We spend a lot of time together. So I think that answers it on self.
Am I your favorite child?
Yeah, I don't have favorite. I love all my children. I love them all.
What? Okay. You miss Mia?
I think Mia's in a better place, better hand. I believe Mia's life is much, much better.
Mia's my sister who passed away this past summer. Well, she's passed away. I was asking, did you miss her? I mean, because I miss her.
I think she's in a better place. I think that life goes on and she's in a better place. Right. She's happier. And that's what counts, because we're all going to leave here and go to the better place.
All right, so we're done for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll talk some more with my mother. We're going to be having there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. A lot of stuff over the years that, we got a lot of history here, and I want to have a lot of discussions with her. Thank you all for joining in, though. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. My very first interview was with my mother, so I want you all to always remember that. All right, so anyway, we're logging off, and we'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Have a good one.